Now, we looked at the single text field earlier. Now we have a situation where we want our user to be able to enter in paragraphs of text. So let's take a look at how we set up a multi-line field. Multi-line field is very similar to the other text field we did, but there are a couple of minor little unique rules that we need to follow. So let me get a field put together and we'll go through those settings really quickly. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our multi-line text. So again, as always, over to the new field on the left, and we're going to select multi-line text here. So again, I've come in, just set up a few basic rules just to position our content onto the page here. So these are the settings that I would use. Let's go ahead and call this agent message. Okay, again, we're editable. Let's go ahead and add that. And once again, because our new layer has been placed at the bottom, we can't see it here. So we need to move this layer above the white box. So let's use our blue arrows just to step that up. And there we go, we have our agent message text applied there. So as we can see in this case now, we don't have our context menu appearing here. So let's just come across to our field, click on the black arrow, and now we can see our context menu here with a few settings. Let's turn off uppercase because we don't need that. Just see how that looks. Okay, so you may have noticed here that we don't actually have a field to apply our default content. Instead, what we actually do is we actually come over to the field here and we can click directly into the field and start to enter our content here. So we actually have a preset default message for this particular template. So let's just go ahead and copy that. I've got that in a text document on the side there. And I'm just going to highlight this and just paste my new message in. So there we go. That's looking much better already. So those are really the only simple rules you need to know about the multi-line text field. So we simply apply our field, we set our left top width and height like we have done for any other field. When I hover over this item here, what you may notice is this big grey area. Now, this big grey area, of course, is dictated by the width and the height that we set here. And what this actually does is this actually defines the constraints that the agent has to work within. So as an agent, if I wanted to, I could continue to type my messaging in there all the way down to the bottom of that box. And of course, as you start to go in, we start to have a little issue there. But of course, we couldn't type in any more than that if we wanted. So let's go ahead and delete some of that. If we wanted to adjust this, we do have our line height option here. So I think this is nice and airy for what it is. But if you wanted to make that a tad tighter, of course, we can close up the line height there, click update, and we'll see that now looks a little bit more tighter. If we wanted to be really extreme about that and turn it right down, you can see how tight that gets. So that's how we can adjust the line height of that in there. Again, as you saw, we still have the uppercase option, which we had a tick to begin with. If I come across to the extras tab up here, really the same sort of things that we've seen in the previous sections, really. You have your draggable option, your rotation, you have your tracking and your kerning for controlling letter spacing if you need to. But these options are all in here. What my recommendation would be is if you are setting up new fields inside this system, always have a little play around inside the contextual menu settings, because this really is where you can control the look and feel for the content in this particular module. That really is a bit of a basic overview there on the multi-line text field. I suppose the only thing really you need to do from there is really just know as and when you need to use it and where to use it. Of course, there is an option in this design to add an agent signature at the bottom. Now, you wouldn't look to include that inside the multi-line field, which is why I've left space at the bottom here to accept a single text line. And the reason that is, of course, I can control the font individually, and I can also limit them just to using one line. So you wouldn't try to do too much inside that apart from just what you need. That pretty much covers the multi-text line field.